Sure, whatever. Let's see what we have here. Darkest Mage. Okay, Darkest Mage is always on Tireless Tribe. Facing the Michael Jacob. It's pretty mediocre. Just because I'm mana screwed though. Many of these, like the Journey to Nowhere is pretty helpful. The Prismatic Strand is actually pretty helpful, but very borderline hand. Because I need to like cycle through Vial. Yeah, it's probably a Maul. I just want a bunch of lightning bolts. Sure. God damn. Well, this is slightly better. I think I'll keep this. Just scry land to the top, please. Electric Ray is great against him. Damn it. I have some cycling to fix my draw, but yeah, it might end up being too slow. Yeah, I agree, it's probably a mulligan. If it had a white source, I would have kept it, but... Still, both of these hands are pretty mediocre. If I just only draw lands from here on out, I feel like I'm pretty favored. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not mulliganing this to 5. He also mulligans, so that's pretty decent for me, though he has good ways of recovering from a mulligan also with Augur of Bolas and Gush. Guess I have to put my money where my mouth is. By the way, I was constantly telling him that the deck that he's playing, I'm not too convinced by it, and that this matchup is favored for red-white, and he was like he never really faced red-white and didn't have a lot of problems with it, so I guess I have to crush him now to prove my point. He takes in probe, sure. Well, let's resolve this prism. Not really too worried about having the Inspector on the board yet. And I do want more lands and more red sources, so... Yeah, this is going to be scary for sure. Like, I have all the interaction that I need to stop him from comboing, but if I don't have the mana sources to deploy them, then I might be bottlenecked where like a single Dispel or a single Circular Logic is enough for my opponent to fight through all of my disruption. That looks like a pretty desperate Gush. They're going to be discarding to hand size, and they still haven't found a white source, so that looks like they have like Tireless Tribe in their hand and don't have a white source, which is one of the issues I had with this deck. Not only do you have trouble finding your white source, but also you end up finding it as a tapped source quite often because you have to Terramorphic Expanse or Evolving Wilds for it. So like Ash Barrens and Plains come into play untapped, but if you dig for like a white source so hard and then it comes into play tapped, that slows your combo down so much. So I think I'll put the Glintalk onto the board to get some pressure and then bounce the Ancient Den actually, because my hand is so clunky. And I don't really need the extra card advantage. This makes my land drop. And then probably Vial so that I can Thraben Inspector next turn, but it's kind of close. Okay, that's pretty perfect. I think if they miss on white source one more turn, I should be out of it successfully. And I think I still want to be bouncing the untapped land more than the cycling tapped land, because cycling it away is not really going to be much of a concern. I still want lands more than I want extra random cards out of my deck. So let's see, if I attack with Glintalk for 2, they can attack me back for 1. Is there any relevant breakpoint? They have a 1/1 that they can add 4 power 2 by discarding card. So the breakpoint is 5 cards is 21 and 4 cards is 17. So going down to 18 doesn't seem like it costs me anything. Yeah, 17 is the next lowest breakpoint. Yeah, I think getting in is probably correct. Especially with this many boards in hand, yeah. It's not even sure that they can assemble any kind of combo or assemble a combo through my hand. So just starting to bolt them out seems like a valid approach to cut the game short while they're looking for their white source. Yeah, just trying to calculate through it, but yes, going aggressive here and burning them out seems very favorable, though it's likely my opponent has access to. Well, that is slightly unfortunate, because now they get both of the damage in, but still. It feels like a pretty hopeless situation for my opponent. I was saying that it's likely they have Dispel in their hand to at least deal with some of the burn. But yeah, Prismatic Strands plus Prismatic Strands Flashback plus multiple points of burn. It's just very difficult for an opponent to deal with. I can even Galvanic Blast them here because I'm so choked on red mana, I guess. I don't really need 4 pieces of red interaction. Maybe Bolt instead, so that I don't run my boat into, or run my blast into Dispel. If they Dispel this first, then I have extra damage, but I guess they know about these also. Yeah, I can kill him in 2 turns, true. And as long as they don't have a Tireless Tribe on the board, then their board is very much not threatening. So either Vial or Ancient Den. I want my Prism around for the red mana. And yeah, probably better to just bounce the Vial. Sure. Bounce the Clue. I don't know. Clue is something that I can sacrifice at instant speed. That seems pretty valuable. Though probably bouncing the Ancient Den was better so that I have Metalcraft here on the board. And then I can sack this at end of turn and replay my land to get back up to Metalcraft. Sure. I guess I'm responding so that they can't circular logic me. Wait a second. Do I still want to bolt them? I guess I no longer do. Well, I guess I still do. Huh. I'm still so low on mana. It's pretty annoying. Okay, I think I still do. Like, I have a blocker, Prismatic Strands, Electric Reopen. Sure. Like, they need the Inside Out, they need a Shadow Rift. They need multiple counters and like a Gush for hand size, so the Gush has to draw a bunch of things. think just attacking with 1 should be fine for me, so that I'm not open to like having too few creatures to flash back. Sure. Yeah. Like facing this deck is just always scary, but I feel like I have it under control. I have 3 pieces of interaction and 2 blockers, so, and I'm killing them next turn. Definitely Gush is the most scary thing. So either respond with Prismatic Strands or or let it resolve and then wait for them to do their combo thing. So their combo already takes up 3 mana. They have access to 2 floating, 2 in their 2 on their board and 1 extra. So they have access to 5 mana in total, which means 3 of that is used up for the combo, so they can have 2 counter spells as backup. But then like land drop puts them, they go up to 8 cards. Land drop puts them down to 7. The other 2 replace themselves, so 2 counters down to 5. That is enough cards to still kill me. And also some of those can be circular logic. Sure. I think I'm responding. Choose white, sure. Now I can't get combo killed this turn, so they somehow have to stabilize the board. Yeah, okay, great. So Pyroblasts are great, Electric Rays are okay. My opponent is going to bring in like Palace Sentinels and Stormbound Geist or whatever it's called, so like a bunch of alternative ways of winning with like a beatdown plan, maybe Seeker of the Way or something. I'm not sure what his exact setup of sideboard cards is at the moment, but I feel like it's going to involve some number of creatures that are not reliant on the combo. So going too overboard on fighting the combo is dangerous, but also Pyroblast counter like Stormbound Geist as well. We can still counter like Gush or something, so these are going to be great always. And then Electricity is like slightly sketchy because it matches up poorly against my opponent's attempts of dodging my removal. And Standard Bearer also gets a little worse, though it still buys me quite a bit of time because my opponent needs to find a removal spell for it to be able to combo. Journey to Nowhere helps a lot against Stormbound Geist, so I think I am still interested in that. Also, it dodges Dispel. So I would be bringing in like either 5. If I'm boarding these out, actually, that's also interesting. It makes me weaker to the combo, but simultaneously improves my chances when my opponent dodges their combo game plan and just tries to outmaneuver me with having me with a bunch of dead cards stranded in my hand. So I could see that being okay, but then having a lower amount of instant speed interaction also opens me up to some risky situations where I might end up dying to a combo somehow. Like Palace Sentinels is pretty clunky also, but it does help against my opponent playing like Palace Sentinels of their own if I can steal it back. These help a bit against Stormbound guys, but I guess they're also clunky. Not sure. Could see cutting some Glinthawks also, but yeah, I'm really not sure how to approach this. Shit. Okay, I think I did submit it last second, but yeah, it's pretty difficult because like all of my cards are so good, basically, and the ways that I die just involve my draw being too clunky. I think I can keep this, but I would like for it to have like a Pyroblast more than it currently does. So yeah, very difficult to sideboard. Yeah, I was also slightly interested in just boarding out the Bojuka Bog because I don't need the black mana, I don't need the comes into play effect. But like lowering my land count just makes, for example, my bounce lands a little worse. Because if I end up with like a bounce land, no other land hand, I could be in trouble. I just didn't want to add some extra risk of non-functional draws to my deck when the matchup is so good in the games where both of us are playing out our draw. Like when both of our draws are functional, I feel like I'm pretty favored. So I didn't want to add extra risk of being mana screwed. Stormbound guys, sure. Get out of here, Stormbound geese. And time for bounce land. Gush? Sure. I mean, Gush is annoying for me in that it creates card advantage, especially with Brainstorm. But they're still setting themselves back quite a bit in terms of tempo, so that makes it more difficult to punch through with a combo attempt because they have less lands available to cast Dispel and Circular Logic and all that stuff that they need to protect their creature with. Still pretty scary. Guess they can never combo me through Prismatic Strands. Because they need 3 mana to even get through my Thraben Inspector and switch the power and toughness, and then I have Prismatic Strands backup. Okay, so that seems fine for me, better than tapping out. They already cycled through a Shadow Rift, so that means it's very likely they have a second Shadow Rift available. So I think I shouldn't be able to die this turn. And then I can cycle the Secluded Step and crack the Clue to find more interaction. Okay. Yeah, they came to the same conclusion. Crack the Clue first. See if I find something worth casting for 1 mana. There's some downside to not putting the Prismatic Strands in my graveyard though. Because now this turn is pretty dangerous. Also, yeah, I might actually die here if they have like all 3 of the combo pieces and a way to counter. If they don't go for it this turn, I'm definitely just casting Prismatic Strands to get it into my graveyard. I was really hoping to find any kind of 1 mana interactive card there last turn. Sure. Okay, then I'm not dead once again. Feels pretty good. Though Augur of Bodas does of course help them assemble more pieces, try to outgrind me. But the 1/3 on the board is just incredibly irrelevant, always running into Thraben Inspector. Circular Logic, yeah, that is a pretty good card. Okay, let's cast this. Okay, so I want 3 mana open for Prismatic Strands out of my hand, and then I can have 2 flashbacks open, so I have 3 mana to work with here. That's pretty nice. They might just start circular logicking my creatures. For example, this one can fly over, so it might be worth countering for them, sure. But yeah, I think my hand's set up well enough where, as long as I'm not getting comboed, I should be in a fine spot. Whoops. Though if they have more circular logics for my Palace Sentinels, that could be awkward. Kind of just want to hold this for a while so that if my opponent plays Palace Sentinels, I can steal it back in a way that doesn't involve combat. But yeah, these Thraben Inspectors actually end up being better here than Core Skyfisher and Glinthawk in the way that I can delay my card draw until the end of my opponent's turn, so I have more interactive mana open. If I bounce Prophetic Prism, that ends up being the same as having a clue, basically. I can replay it for 2 mana to draw a card. But this clue is like an instant speed Prophetic Prism, basically. An instant speed way of drawing the card. So that makes my mana situation a lot easier. Not having any Pyroblasts here and my opponent resolving a bunch of draw spells is definitely annoying, though. They end up with quite a big hand that might allow them to get through a bunch of hate. Yeah. This could be dangerous. Though I guess if they're going for it, trying to just beat my Prismatic Strands, then like having 3 Prismatic Strands, I should be surviving here. They only have 2 mana open. I guess if they have Daze, I can die. So let's hope they don't. Because I have 1, 2, 3 strands available, like 1, 2, 3 strands available. They also need to discard 5 cards, so should be good for me. So unless there are stays, I think my opponent's just dead. I mean, not dead, but they failed to combo here and throw a bunch of resources into it, not achieving anything. Sure, that part was expected. And then I cast this, and they likely have a second Dispel, otherwise they wouldn't have gone for this. And then I flash it back, and they need Daze, otherwise they get wrecked. Let's choose white. And yeah, they decide to not even fight over it because they know it's futile. That is a pretty nice draw. I think I'm still holding on to the Palace Sentinels and just developing some Glinthawks. Oh, circular logic. Sure. Yeah, I mean, 3rd strands isn't really necessary. I think Galvanic Blast or something was already good enough, but yeah, it is pretty nice to have this available to me. Sure. I guess if I have Glinthawk on the board, I can also Palace Sentinels it up. And I still have strands in my graveyard, so there's no way for me to die. Unless they have like, no, even 2 Gush they can't cast. Like, okay, there we go.